Welcome to Adventures in Freeze Drying. Today we're going to experiment. Courtesy of Facebook, Google, and YouTube, we are going to try to do red hots in my freeze dryer. They've suggested no more than 2 boxes of red hots of those theater size packages per medium tray. So that's what we're going to do today. Hang with me and we will get these freeze dried. The first step when freeze drying red hots, especially when using candy mode, is you first need to get your machine ready for candy mode. So I'm going to go into customize. I'm going to up the temp on my machine to 150. Hit save. I always leave my extra dry time at 24 hours simply because it gives me a lot of flexibility. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit start. Now we're going to go upstairs and get our oven started. My freeze dryer is in the process of doing the 15-minute cool down. So I'm going to go ahead and set my oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit and get it started to preheat. And then we're going to get the red hot spread out on my trays. I would highly recommend lining your trays with parchment. I use the pre-cut parchment from Freeze Drying Supplies because I appreciate just being able to pull out a sheet and it's already the correct size and it's ready to go. So again, that pre-cut parchment saves the day for making this quick, easy, and you're done messing with parchment. We'll open up boxes of red hots. They're a little smaller than a Skittle, and like a Skittle, these are going to puff up. So you don't want them overcrowded on your tray, or you'll end up with red hot brittle, and you'll have to figure out what to do with that red hot brittle instead of having individual red hot. So I would say even 2 boxes might be a hair tight. I might be more 1.5. Just for myself, because I feel like these are still plenty tight and going to be stuck together plenty. So it wasn't quite, probably 1 3/4 boxes is what I put on that first tray. So I'm going to finish spreading these out and then we'll get them put in the oven. I ended up using about 7 1/4 boxes between my 4 medium trays. While I do have a medium and a large machine, for preheating I can get 4 medium trays in my oven, no problem. I can only get 3 large trays in my oven to preheat. So I do prefer to use my medium and just fill it up all with the same candy that's been preheated in my oven. My oven is at 200 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and get all 4 of my trays into my oven, trying not to have these slide too close together because they're going to get melty. And wherever they're at on the tray is where they're going to freeze dry once they kind of stick to that parchment a little bit once they're melty. So again, try not to move so fast that everything slides together, or you're going to spend a minute re-spreading them out a little bit so they're not as tightly packed. And then I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes. And in the meantime, it's probably been 15 minutes and time to go get my freeze dryer warming. Before I do anything else with my freeze dryer, I am going to close my drain valve. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we're going to hit on. So make sure that becomes green. Continue. We're going to hit start. And I'm going to arrow this time up to like 20 minutes. Maybe even the full 30. Just so that way I know I have time to get down here with my red hots and my vacuum will not have kicked on. I can arrow down the extra time and get my vacuum to turn on whenever I want to. So I'm putting way more time on here right now than this needs to warm. My oven is just about done preheating my red hots. I'm going to move very quickly from pulling these out of the oven, downstairs and into my machine. So just wanted to let you know what I was going to do because this is going to be a fast move. All 4 trays are in. My drain line is closed. I'm going to come over here and arrow down this extra time that I don't need on here. And then my vacuum's going to kick in. And we'll check on these in probably 6 hours. My Red Hots have been freeze drying for 4 hours now. And the top tray looks like I want them to look. But the next 3 do not. So I believe I'm going to go ahead and take these bottom 3 trays. I preheated my oven to 220 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to put these back in for 30 minutes and try running them again. And I'm going to take this top tray out because I think that one is good. So we'll see what this looks like on take 2. We are 2.5 hours into the second run after putting these back in the oven at 220 degrees for 30 minutes. It looks like they're popping on all of my trays. Not so sure this bottom tray is going to be a full win, but these 2 are looking pretty good. So I'd say this is a semi-success for the Red Hots. I'd recommend starting at 220 and potentially heating for 45 minutes before even putting them into the freeze dryer, and then they should work for you. This is that first tray of Red Hots that I pulled out. They are nice and crunchy and airy, a lot like a Skittle. Very cinnamon. So overall, if you are a Red Hots fan, this would be fun to try. But you're going to probably need to experiment with temperature and time in the oven to get them to turn out in your freeze dryer. Thank you for joining me on Adventures in Freeze Drying. We'll see you next time.